Okay guys, it's Swiss Moist Delani Python Dinada Sana. You're welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to cover how you can send data from Python socket client to Python socket server. So this is actual implementation of socket programming in Python. I hope you know these sockets have a large application, and one of them is you can use in real-time chat application. You can use them to send the HTTP request, but also you can use socket to transfer files by building FTP protocol. So in short, socket has a lot of use, and get prepared to learn and enjoy the potential of socket in programming. If it's the first time for you to watch out my channel, do not forget to subscribe so as you can be timely updated once we upload a new video. So keep on watching and let's go. So here we begin. Okay, before we proceed, let me remind you that I once showed a demonstration on how you can send the data from PHP socket to Python socket. I actually get this idea when someone was trying to deploy machine learning model on PHP. So what he did actually was to get the request from PHP web application, then after send them to Python socket server where there were a machine learning model running behind, okay, and that was a press where prediction were made, then after the response were being returned to PHP uh, client socket. So this is all about the Python client socket and the Python server socket. So as normal as usual, we everybody know that server is responsible for receiving the incoming request and whenever possible returning the response. Actually, it's receiving the request from client, then sending the response. So by saying so, we actually needed to start creating server. Okay, as you can see here, I have actually created a folder with the name sockets. Then after, I have created two files. One is client.py and another file is server.py. So we start with developing socket server. As normal as usual, we actually needed to import socket. So here I can actually explain what is the meaning of this line. Okay, so in short, we have already imported the socket. So what we are trying to do here is to create a socket object. Okay, and by using socket.socket, we pass in two arguments. Okay, so the first argument is AF underscore INET, which stands for IPv4 family, and another argument is SockStream, which actually stands for TCP. So here what has been done is to get the host name, I mean the name of this computer, then after specify the port for our socket server. So here we associate our socket object we have created with the host and the port. So we start listening for the socket and we specify 5 as the maximum number of concurrent incoming connection. After that, we display a Python string or message that the server is listening on hostname.the port. So what this means is actual we accept the connection, okay, from client, and actually this accept function will return two objects. The object number one is client socket, okay, and another one is address, okay. So this will stand for address. So what is actually happening here is we actually receive data, okay? As I told you that this actually contains this current socket, it actually contains data, so we can use this with a receive method to receive the data. Then after this contain the address of client or an IP address of a client sending a request to the server. So here we receive all the data, then after we decode, okay, we decode it from bytes to string. Then after we can perfectly print what data has been received from the client to the server. So after receiving data or a message from a client, we are able to use client socket to send back the data to the client with the help of send help. Before we send the data, we encode, okay, we encode from string to bytes. Then after, we close the connection. Just to tell you that the while, when we say while true, this is infinity loop, which it won't terminate. As everything is true, it will run to the dot. It will actually run forever. So we are done we are done with creating the server socket. We can actually open up a terminal and try out to see if we can listen from any client sending the request. Okay, we can say socket.bind text one argument given to. Okay, let us see. I think it should be something like this. That's perfect. You can see this is actually my computer name. Okay, and this is the port a server is listening. Okay, so we are done. The code works perfect. So let's move ahead and create a client. Okay, so to make things clear and short, we can copy everything from the server and I'll actually tell you what to modify. Okay, as normal as usual, I actually told you that this is IPv4 family and this is actually TCP. This is get host name. Okay, it will actually return the host name and this will return the port. Okay, but you can, if you are I mean, this is for the case when your socket client and the server are running on the same machine. Okay, but if they are running in different machine, here on the section of a host you can exactly specify the IP address. Okay, we are doing this because it's just a local host. And at the end of when we'll be winding up this session, we'll try out to put the IP address, and I will actually use localhost. But now let us go. So here, what we can do, we can remove let us remove everything up to here. So instead of binding now, we use connect function, which take the host and the port. Then after, it is a time to send data to the server. So I have made changes. So here the object for the socket object, or the object for creating the socket, is current instead of uh, server, as we copied and pasted. So put here current socket. Then after here, when making connection to the server, specify the current host. Then after here, what we have actually crafted a message to send it to the server. Then after, we use a send method to send an encoded message, okay, from string to bytes. Okay, so we encoded the message before sending to the server, and when we receive the message to the server, we decode before displaying the message in human readable format. So if you see here, I think everything is okay. Okay, everything is okay. Everything is perfect. It's a time now to test our current socket. So I'll click here to split the terminal, and we are going to run python current.py. So if everything is okay, you will receive the message received by server, okay, and the response received by current from a server. That's perfect. You can see got the connection from this, the IP address, okay, received the hello world, and here we can see received a message. As I told you that you can actually specify, you can put the IP address instead of, let's try this, instead of this, okay. So let us copy, let us paste it. We can copy this, paste it here, and we can comment here. Okay, let's say this is hosty. That's perfect. Then after, let us run once again. That's perfect. You can see we are still able to send the request. As I told you that in real-time scenario, you can actually remove this get host name and specify your IP address in string. So this actually sums up the end of this video on how you can create a Python client and a Python server socket, and how you can share the data or transfer the data from Python client socket to Python server socket. Before we end up this video, first of all, let me remind you, don't forget to subscribe, put comment, share. That's okay. Once you subscribe, you will be timely updated once we upload a new video on every Tuesday. Before I close up this session, let me thank you in 9 different international language. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigado. Merci beaucoup. Kamza Hamida. Aita. Danke. Denawad. Thank you. Keep on watching. I hope to see you in my coming tutorials.